Okay, so forget everything you think you know about cyber attacks. Seriously, it's not always about some super complex code or a shadowy figure in a hoodie. Sometimes the most devastating hack in the world, well, it just starts with a simple, polite conversation. We're going to dive into this and see how a single phone call can actually bring a multi-million-dollar company to its knees.
You know, it's that classic horror movie line, right? But for some of the world's biggest companies, it's become a terrifying reality. The biggest threats aren't always breaking down the digital door from the outside. Nope, they're being let right in by someone who already has a key. So let's take a look at a perfect example of this. When the huge UK retailer Marks & Spencer got hit by a massive cyber attack, investigators found something pretty shocking. The craziest part wasn't the attack itself, but where it came from.
I mean, just imagine this. You're the CEO of M&S. You open your inbox, and there it is. A ransom demand from a hacker group called Dragon Force, and it's sent from one of your own company's email accounts. Talk about a bold move, right? It's designed to show you they have total control. But how on earth did they do it?
And here is the twist. The email account didn't belong to an M&S employee at all. It belonged to someone at Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, the trusted IT firm hired to protect their systems. The attack didn't come from a direct assault. It came straight through a trusted partner.
So, how does something like this even happen? How do hackers manage to get inside these massive corporations through their partners? Well, the method is shockingly, almost disappointingly, simple. It's called social engineering.
So here's the thing you've got to understand. Social engineering isn't really about hacking computers. It's about hacking people. It exploits things like trust and kindness and our natural human instinct to want to help somebody out. It's not about finding a flaw in the code, it's about finding a flaw in our nature.
And this is what just shatters our whole perception of hacking. We all have this picture in our heads, from the movies, this complex, high-tech operation. But the reality for companies like MGM Resorts and Clorox, it was way more mundane. It wasn't some brilliant piece of code. It was a simple phone call where someone politely just said, "Hey, I forgot my password."
The playbook itself is surprisingly simple. In the MGM hack, for instance, the hackers just needed an employee's name and maybe their date of birth, info that's often out there for anyone to find. With just that tiny piece of data, they called the help desk, they pretended to be that employee, and they got a password reset. Just like that, they were in.
So this all leads to the big question, right? Why is this so effective? I mean, if it's really this simple, why haven't companies locked it down? Well, the answer lies in the pressures and the structure of the modern IT help desk.
You see, help desks are often seen as just a cost center, so those big contracts, they usually go to the lowest bidder. And that means they're often staffed by pretty junior employees who are measured not on how secure they are, but on pure speed. Their job is to resolve tickets as fast as humanly possible. So when a hacker calls, acting all polite but urgent, the pressure is on the agent to help quickly, not to be some kind of security guard.
And get this, a staggering 40% of all help desk tickets are just for password resets. It becomes this routine, totally repetitive task. And when you do something dozens of times a day, it's so easy to get complacent, maybe skip a step, and that's the exact moment a hacker is waiting for.
So, when this single point of failure gets exploited, what happens? Well, the consequences are astronomical. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages and, as we're about to see, a massive legal storm.
The financial fallout is just staggering. For Marks & Spencer, the potential damage was an estimated £300 million in lost profit.
For MGM Resorts, they faced a negative impact of $100 million, and that's even after they refused to pay the ransom.
But the most dramatic figure, wow, it comes from Clorox. They claim the attack cost them $380 million. And that's a number so huge, they're not just writing it off. They're taking their IT provider straight to court.
And if you look inside the Clorox lawsuit, there's this absolutely explosive claim. They allege their IT partner, a company called Cognizant, didn't fall for some clever trick. No, they claim the help desk agent just handed over the keys to the kingdom without asking any security questions at all.
And so, the blame game begins. Clorox says Cognizant completely failed at their one job. Cognizant fires right back, calling Clorox's internal security inept and claiming their role was limited to a narrow scope of services. This whole case is about way more than one breach. It's about who is ultimately responsible for security in a world where everything is outsourced. And really, this case points to a much, much bigger picture. The Clorox versus Cognizant lawsuit, it isn't just a one-off. It's really the beginning of a major shift in how the entire industry handles the aftermath of these cyber attacks.
We are really entering a new era here. Lawsuits like this are on the rise, and they're increasingly aimed at the vendors and IT partners in the supply chain. Clients are now demanding ironclad contracts and the right to audit their providers constantly. Those fuzzy lines of responsibility, they're being redrawn in court at a cost of millions and millions of dollars.
So it all leaves us with this one final crucial question. In a system where technology and human nature are so tangled up, who really bears the blame? Is it the company that underfunded its help desk? Is it the IT provider who hired and trained the agent? Or is it the individual who is just trying to do their job quickly? You know, there are no easy answers here.